Daily Bible Reading, 1 Kings chapter 5. Solomon's rule extended over all of the kingdoms from the Euphrates to the land of the Philistines and the boundary of Egypt. They brought Solomon tribute and were subject to him all his life. Solomon's daily provisions consisted of 30 cors of semolina and 60 cors of ordinary flour, 10 fattened oxen, 20 pasture-fed oxen, and 100 sheep and goats, besides deer and gazelles, roebucks, and fatted geese, for he controlled the whole region west of the Euphrates. All the kings west of the Euphrates, from Tiphsah to Gaza, and he had peace on all his borders round about. All the days of Solomon, Judah and Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, dwelt in safety, everyone under his own vine and under his own fig tree. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariotry, and 12,000 horsemen. All those prefects, each during his month, would furnish provisions for the King Solomon and all who were admitted to King Solomon's table. They did not fall short in anything. They would also, each in his turn, deliver barley and straw for the horses and the swift steeds to the places where they were stationed. God endowed Solomon with wisdom and discernment in great measure, with understanding as vast as the sands on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom was greater than the wisdom of all the Kedemites, and than all the wisdom of the Egyptians. He was the wisest of all men, wiser than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, Chalcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahal. His fame spread among all the surrounding nations. He composed 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. He discoursed about trees, from the cedar in the Lebanon to the hyssop that grows out of the wall. And he discoursed about beasts, birds, creeping things, and fishes. Men of all peoples came to hear Solomon's wisdom, sent by all the kings of the earth who had heard of his wisdom. King Hiram of Tyre sent his officials to Solomon when he heard that he had been anointed king in place of his father. For Hiram had always been a friend of David. Solomon sent this message to Hiram: "You know that my father David could not build a house for the name of the Lord his God because of the enemies that encompassed him, until the Lord had placed them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me respite all around. There is no adversary and no mischance. And so I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord promised my father David, saying, 'Your son, whom I will set on your throne in your place, shall build the house for my name. Please then give orders for cedars to be cut for me in the Lebanon. My servants will work with yours, and I will pay you any wages you may ask for your servants. For as you know, there is none among us who knows how to cut timber like the Sidonians.'" When Hiram heard Solomon's message, he was overjoyed. "Praised be the Lord this day," he said, "for granting David a wise son to govern this great people." So Hiram sent word to Solomon, "I have your message. I will supply all the cedar and cypress logs you require. My servants will bring them down to the sea from the Lebanon, and at the sea I will make them into floats and deliver them to any place that you designate to me. There I shall break them up for you to carry away. You, in turn, will supply the food I require for my household." So Hiram kept Solomon provided with all the cedar and cypress wood he required. And Solomon delivered to Hiram 20,000 cors of wheat as provisions for his household, and 20 cors of beaten oil. Such was Solomon's annual payment to Hiram. The Lord had given Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him. There was friendship between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty. King Solomon imposed forced labor on Israel. The levy came to 30,000 men. He sent them to the Lebanon in shifts of 10,000 a month. They would spend 1 month in the Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Solomon also had 70,000 porters and 80,000 quarriers in the hills, apart from Solomon's 3,300 officials who were in charge of the work and supervised the gangs doing the work. The king ordered huge blocks of choice stone to be quarried, so that the foundations of the house might be laid with hewn stones. Solomon's masons, Hiram's masons, and the men of Gebal shaped them. Thus the timber and the stones for building the house were made ready.